YouTube. Okay, before I get started with this video, I really have to get something off my chest really quick. So, I know this is a random thought, but don't you just hate when people come for you and you did not send for them? Like, where did you come from? Like, you clearly have the wrong address. You need to reroute. Like, I didn't order this mess. Okay? That makes me feel a little bit better. Okay, now I'm here to do the review for The Haves and the Have-Nots, season 4. Okay, for real, it really is season 3, and it says that on Oprah's website, and it says it on the TV guide. But in YouTube land, all YouTube reviewers, we like to refer to it as season 4. So whatever. This is season 3, also known as season 4, episode 8, titled Unexpected Visitors. Okay, so this week's episode, very interesting. A lot of things caught me off guard. So let's start with Candace. Candace and Erica were, I believe her friend's name's Erica. Yes, they're beating up the social worker lady, which I forget her name. But her hair was messed up. She was bleeding, everything. It was a mess. So they let her get off the floor, and they're like, okay, now you need to tell us what's going on. Where's he at? What did he pay you or something? Like, how did you allow this to happen? And it happened all under my nose, and I didn't know. So, if you listened to my review last week, like, I legit thought that she had nothing to do with it. I specifically said, I feel sorry for the girl because she really doesn't know, and Candace is just going to beat the mess out of the girl. But apparently, she did know, and I was like, Tyler Perry, you got me there. You got me. Okay, so she's like, okay, let me just tell you what I know. I don't know where he is, but yes, he did like set this up. He just wanted me to like pretend like the judge needed to see the money in your account, and so you would have to enter your account number. And he just gave me $25,000 like off the records, just in cash. She's like, I knew it. So when I'm watching that part, I'm like, you are lying. Like, I never would have known that. But anywho, so I don't know when he had time to meet up with her or whatever. But she's like, okay, what you're gonna do? You're gonna give me my $25,000 back, and you're gonna give me my child. She was like, I can't do anything about it. She was like, you need to figure it out, and you need to figure out where Oscar is. I don't know. Well, you need to start. And she was like, I don't have $25. I already spent it. Like, what'd you spend it on? Like, how do people spend like huge chunks of money like that and they have nothing to show for it? I.e., it's tax time right now, and some people get like a ton of money back on their taxes, and then like 2 weeks later they don't have any of that refund money, and like they literally don't look any different than they looked 2 weeks ago, or they don't appear to be in a different, like a better like financial state. Like, what did you do with that money? Like, how do you get rid of $25,000 that fast? Like, I'm sure you can, but at least have something to show for it. Like, you don't even have like any like property, not like a home, a car, whatever. I can stay on that subject forever. But she's like, okay, I will figure it out. And she's like, I'll just go to my credit union and I'll get you $25,000. Candace is like, oh, okay, well, you can give me $100,000. See, that's where the girl messed up, because she never should have told her she was going to her credit union. Because in Candace's mind, like, oh, well, if you're going to borrow money anyway, you may as well take a larger amount, because what am I going to do with $25,000? Okay. So anywho, she tells her, like, the girl is like, I'm sorry, I could really lose my job for this. And so for that reason, I'm not like nervous that the girl is going to tell that Candace like beat her up, because, well, the girl did something illegal. Anywho, so the girl, like, they tell her to leave out the house, go. Mind you, her nose is bloody and her hair is all messed up, and the neighbor still has a camera pointed at Candace's door. So this is just more evidence piling up. Okay, so I was shocked by that. Let's move to another part of the episode. Jumped around, don't really remember the order, but Jeffrey was not in this week's episode. Let me move to Catherine Crier. She's still trying to call around, figure out what's going on. Really not having much luck. She's not able to get either one of them out of jail. What's her name? Veronica or Jim. Okay. Hannah. Hannah was in boss mode this episode. And Hannah, she was so, pissed off to the highest level of festivity that she completely, she left her religion and everything at the door because she was so mad, which is maybe, you know how, you could be, something can happen and then you don't really react. You're, kind of, oddly calm. And then later on, it hits you and you realize just how pissed off you are. So that's how Hannah was. Hannah is sitting in the kitchen at the Crier's house. And she's straight I'm not cleaning up nothing. I'm sitting here. I'm waiting for my check. Because all of you people are getting on my nerves. You covered up a murder and a hit and run. And I guess, Wyatt is kind of right. I'm sitting here doing, work for y'all for what? Y'all think that I'm the dumb, stupid, low-income maid. I don't have time for this. And they think basically, oh, this is why you hate my son's bills. You're just trying to shut me up. You think you can get over on me. So she's pissed off. All of this has had time to marinate within, her mind. And, the wheels are just churning and churning and churning. Okay, so, David Harrington comes into the house. I don't know how he just got into the house, but whatever. He comes into the house. He's like, Hannah, I need to speak with you about your son, Benny, and blah, 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 blah. And she was like, no, you don't. And he basically gave her some, legal mumbo jumbo as to why he couldn't reveal any information regarding the hit and run and the death of the little girl. So then she gives him some fake mumbo jumbo about her being Benny's mama and how she can't reveal any information of the whereabouts of Veronica when David showed up at Hannah's house. Okay, so she's just like, you're not about to play me like I'm some stupid dumb maid because that's all you think I am. No, you about to get out of my face. I'm sitting here. I'm waiting on my check. So we shall see how this goes. Okay, meanwhile, Wyatt is not there. Wyatt is later on in the episode, he ends up at a hotel room. Now, mind you, the guy at the bank or whatever that's supposed to release this money to Wyatt, he's a friend of the family. And he's thinking, he calls the DA and he's like, hey, do you not realize that Wyatt has a drug problem? She's like, no, it's fine. It's approved by a judge. And he's like, I don't think this is good for him. What would his parents do it if they knew about this? And she's like, he is going to testify against his parents. Just give him the money you're supposed to give him the money. He's hesitant, but I guess he's going to have to do it anyway. So in the meantime, Wyatt is just living it up. He's staying at that expensive hotel that everybody on this show stays at. And he is doing drugs, a lot of alcohol. He's waiting for girls to come over, hanging out with one of his friends. He is just ready to go into total destructive mode. Okay. Veronica and what's his name? Jim in jail. Somebody gives Jim some type of public attorney. Veronica, she's like, no, I will defend myself. And it's against Jennifer Salison, whatever her name is, the DA. They get in court. Well, Jim, he really wasn't able to talk his way out of it. And so he gets he goes back to jail, no bail, and he smart mouths the judge. So the judge was like, well, there's an additional 30 days on top of whatever you'll have to serve. Okay. Then Veronica gets up there, and she really was a real deal lawyer, really good. So she was able to outsmart Jennifer and use all this legal mumbo jumbo and say that her son was her client, and that's why she couldn't break client lawyer confidentiality. But really, he wasn't her client. But whatever the case, the judge is like, hey, I'm letting her out, and she's free to go home. And if we want to send this to court, that's when her son can testify against her. Right now, this is just like a bail hearing or plea hearing or whatever. So, okay. So she leaves with Catherine. Now, mind you, David Harrington finds out at the end of the episode that Veronica was released and she's heading home. So he like runs out of his office because he's like furious, because he's like, if she goes home, she's going to get killed. And I'm like low-key kind of here for that. Like, I'm just going to be completely honest, because Veronica kind of gets under my skin. And an important person in this show needs to die, okay? I think it is either going to be Veronica, or it's going to be, let me see, Veronica, War, or Wyatt. One of those three people, or maybe multiple, or maybe all of them. But somebody's going to have to die. Speaking of War, so Candace is talking to her friend Erica about, like, basically, like, War's against me. He's going to try to kill Benny. And the girl is like, oh my gosh, did you cross him? She said, yes. He wants $2 million from me. Maybe if I can give him this $100,000 that I'll get from the girl, that can be like hush money, just to kind of like keep him cool until I can figure out the rest of the money and find this Oscar guy. And the girl is like, you realize we may never find him. The girl may never come back with the money. And she's like, well, I'm just going to hope that she does. So basically they want to like get back to like what they're used to doing and like conning people, because they need to get this money some type of way. Okay. Also, what was another important aspect of the show? Oh, Benny and David. So, like, David, he has, like, a lot of power, so he can just make a quick phone call and get things done. So, you can see that Oscar is kind of like David's, like, hitman. So, whatever David wants to find out, he goes to Oscar, and Oscar comes back and relays the information. And Oscar had told him about Maggie Day, like, sending, like, people out to follow Veronica and take pictures of her. Side note, David's stupid self is mad at Maggie, like, she did not make your wife cheat on you, okay? But whatever, Oscar also revealed that the affair had been since Veronica bailed Benny out of jail, and it had been going on some time since then. Okay, so whatever the case, you know, of course, David wanted to talk to Benny. Benny was like, no. So David knew a way to get his attention. He will just like forward all the calls that are supposed to go to the tow yard. He will forward them elsewhere, because then they won't be getting any business. And it will cause chaos over there. And then basically Benny will have no choice but to address David face to face. So Benny comes to David's office and he's like, look, whatever you did to my phone, you need to fix it. Like, I have bills to pay. And he's like, okay, well, you're going to answer questions about my wife. Side note, David had told Hannah that Benny said, oh, you need to discuss this with your wife, whatever problems you have. And Hannah was like, oh, that's not good. I didn't raise him like that. He should have said, you need to discuss this with your trifling behind wife. And I was like, yes! But anyways, so when Benny goes up to like the David's office and he's like confronting him about it, and like they basically kind of like get in each other's face, and then he's like, I'll knock you out, and then David like grabs him by the neck, and I was like, oh Lord, don't hurt Benny. So like they were like about to go at it. Next thing you know, Landon comes in and says, hey, your wife is out, and basically she's going home to get killed, so you need to get that under control. So anywho, that are like the key parts of the episode that I can remember. If I left anything out that was like really essential to like what's coming in the future, just let me know. Also, as always, like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure when you have a chance you check out my blog at www.mrsblogaholic.com. Okay, have a good one.